Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. Britain's Health Secretary Matt Hancock has resigned for breaching the government's own social distancing guidelines by kissing an aide he'd hired. Pictures of Mr Hancock's embrace with the adviser unleashed a storm of public anger and ridicule. She too has resigned. Mr Hancock said he'd resign because those who make the rules have to stick by them. Here's our political editor, Laura Kunsberg.
The Prime Minister had backed Matt Hancock to hang on. The now former Health Secretary had tried to cling on, but senior Tories were directly warning both of them that his position was just not tenable, not because of his personal exploits with the taxpayer-supported colleague, but because he broke the rules that he helped set. One senior Tory told me it beggared belief that the man who'd essentially banned casual relationships for a year was caught out having disobeyed the guidance himself, but still tried to maintain his position.
Mr Hancock has been replaced by the former Finance Minister, Sajid Javid. The Mayor of the Miami County, where an apartment block collapsed on Thursday, has ordered an immediate audit of all buildings of a similar age. Daniela Levine Cava said there would be a thorough investigation into the cause of the collapse, which has left 4 people dead and more than 150 missing. Will Grant reports.
The search and rescue operation continues around the clock, but it is being constantly hampered by tropical rainstorms and by persistent fires burning inside the damaged building. Those are reducing the already slim chances of survival for any of those who are in the affected part of the block at the time of the collapse. And now fresh information is heaping more distress on the families. A survey carried out 3 years ago found a major error in the building design. Specifically, it reported major structural damage to a concrete slab beneath a swimming pool deck and abundant cracking in the parking garage.
Police in Colombia say they have found 2 guns used to fire at a helicopter that was carrying President Ivan Duque and his Defence and Interior Ministers late on Friday. All the passengers escaped unharmed from the attack. The government has offered a reward of $800,000 for information that could lead to arrests. Here's our Latin American correspondent, Leonardo Rocha.
President Duque was returning from an official event in the northeastern region of Catatumbo when the attack took place. The police say they seized 2 rifles, one of them an AK-47, bearing the hallmarks of the Colombian armed forces, which means they were probably stolen or sold illegally by soldiers. They said that 6 shots struck the helicopter. They were fired from near the main regional airport in the city of Cúcuta. The ELN Marxist rebel group and criminal factions are known to operate in the area.
World News from the BBC. The US drug manufacturer Johnson & Johnson has agreed to pay more than $200 million to settle a lawsuit in New York that accused it of fueling the country's opioid crisis. The State Attorney General, Letitia James, said the firm had pledged to leave the opioid business as part of the settlement. But Johnson & Johnson said it had already stopped selling the painkillers. Protesters in 2 Lebanese cities have attempted to invade branches of the central bank after the country's currency fell sharply against the dollar on Saturday afternoon. In Tripoli in the north and Sidon in the south, angry demonstrators forced open the bank doors before the army arrived to prevent them ransacking the building. Lebanon is in the throes of a major economic crisis. Thousands of people in Burkina Faso's centre-north region have been gathering to demand greater government action against jihadist attacks. The protesters were mainly women displaced by escalating violence and the widows of soldiers and police officers killed by militants. The demonstration follows an attack on a police unit that killed 11 members of the security forces last week. In the Euro 2020 Football Championship, Italy have beaten Austria 2-1 to qualify for the quarter-finals. John Bennett reports.
Huge relief for Italy. Their unbeaten run is extended to a national record 31 games, but this was a bigger test than their fans ever expected. In extra time, though, Italy finally made the breakthrough with a brilliant Federico Chiesa goal from a tight angle. Then minutes later, Matteo Pessina smashed it into the far corner to make it 2-0. But Austria never gave up, and for the first time in 12 games, Italy conceded when Sasha Kalajdzic flicked in a corner. A scare for Italy, but their promising Euro 2020 journey goes on.
Earlier, Denmark became the first team to go through to the last 8 when they beat a tired-looking Wales 4-0. BBC News.